My brothers and my sisters, we can think of a number of different leaders and very important historical figures within history. We think of people who came in great power, like Caesar or Alexander the Great. We think of people who also might have not come in as much power or glory, or even dressed the same way, maybe like a Mother Teresa, but who had tremendous power. There's an example of great power, of great strength that's flexed throughout all of our history. But interestingly, those are not the people whose legacies may last the longest. And certainly as we look at the person of Christ, and when we take and we reflect on the words from Isaiah, which came 600 years before the time of Jesus himself, we can tell that the example of the servant who would suffer, the servant who had come and was planned to be part of God's salvation, was not going to come and flex a tremendous might, but was going to come humbly and gently with a power that may be a little bit more silent or humble than what humanity was used to. And probably fair to say, may be different than what we're used to even today. The baptism of the Lord, it is a celebration where we must be mindful of how Jesus comes to humanity. How does he come to humanity? We're reminded once again of the gentle way that he came as a baby. But before his public ministry, before he becomes a public and mature figure in people's eyes and in his own person, he comes to John, his forerunner, this man who invited people to come to know the Christ. And in many ways, he goes out and accepts the invitation of humanity by coming to one of the people of humanity, John. And he comes as that suffering servant. He comes to humanity to be buried into humanity's situation. He comes to us and he comes into us. The idea of Christ being buried, it's that whole idea of descending. We hear, of course, in Genesis 3, that idea of the fall of humanity, where we were less than ourselves. And Christ descends, probably kneeling, crouching, being buried into the river itself by John, so that he could descend as much as was needed and to be able to encompass humanity's full situation. It kind of reminds us of all the times when Christ goes to great lengths to be able to be impactful or effective within our lives. For all of Peter's denials, Jesus asks him as many times, "Do you love me?" For 3 times denying, there are 3 questions of whether he loves him. And today, the baptism of Christ, the way that he's baptized, lets us know that he descends into our full experience. There's nothing that he doesn't want to touch or begin to minister. There's also in many ways a good message for us today. Because there are even people within our diocese, people that may watch this Mass, that may wonder, do I need to be strong? Do I need to be maybe a flashy, exemplary individual to touch humanity? Or can I touch humanity humbly, even silently, without them knowing it, with my prayers, with my kind or maybe even soft words at times? And we can. The servant will come and he will not break the reed or quench the smoldering wick, but he will come gently and bring justice over time. And indeed, for over 2,000 years, his reign is the strongest and the longest.